Hey folks, thanks for tuning into this one. Just gotta put this in context for you. So, I was planning on doing a 420 special of the Screen Time podcast, which is great and you should listen to it. Um, However, things sorta took a awkward left turn that I wasn't anticipating. My plan was to watch 2001 A Space Odyssey sober, then high a few days later, and compare and contrast my experiences. However, I had very interesting feelings about 2001 A Space Odyssey and didn't end up going through with that plan. Um, I also recorded this at, I can't remember, it was 2 something in the morning. And the next day, I came down with a bit of a sore throat cold situation. So if you're wondering why my voice sounds shitty, that's why. And I'm sort of coming out of it now, going back and recording this bit later. Um, so that's it. My voice is going to sound shitty. There's no real structure to this conversation. And yeah, enjoy this ramble that I didn't quite feel worthy of putting the podcast label on.
Greetings, listener, and happy 420. I'm coming to you solo for this episode to talk to you about what I consider to be my favorite film of all time, at least for the past 2, maybe 3 years. The thing is, I've only seen it all the way through once. I have, however, watched the ending to this film synchronized with Pink Floyd's, I can never remember. Is it called Echoes or Escape? I it's one of those two. But anyway, we're going to be talking 2001 A Space Odyssey for our 420 special this year. I hope to make it an annual thing anyway. Uh so yeah, as I just said, I've only seen it once all the way through, and I'm not gonna lie, it strained my attention a fair bit. I had a hard time understanding the hype, but then I watched the ending synchronized with, Pink Floyd while under the influence, and it was friggin' cinema magic. So I thought, if I'm gonna keep calling this my favorite, I should really watch it more than once, and I should see if I can really get into it sober, and, if I can really. I know I can get into the ending high, but I was sober the first time I watched it all the way through. So, I'm recording this on the 9th, and I'm gonna watch it sober tonight, and then either tomorrow or the next day, I'm going to watch it high and just sort of compare and contrast how I feel about the film. So I am going to depart for now because I have to go watch Space Odyssey. See you in, what is it, 2 and 3/4 hours? Something like that. Okay, so I just finished 2001 A Space Odyssey. I have very mixed feelings. Um, First of all, to address positives, it definitely didn't test my attention span as much as it did the first time. I'm kind of proud of that because I thought my attention span was getting worse, but I wasn't bored at any point watching this film, so good on you for keeping my Gen Z attention span for like 2 and 3/4 hours. I did take a break during the intermission, but still. Um, okay. I don't know where to begin. I, th- I think I project too high of expectations onto this film sometimes. Like, when I'm not watching it, I think, like, yeah, this is my favorite film. Or I think it's the film that I most identify with. I get into a really pretentious headspace with this film. Like, I don't know, I was maybe 7 minutes in past the overture, and phrases like, "This is the best self portrait humanity has ever painted" came into mind. Um, I mean, granted, that is just me being a pretentious film nerd, but it is also a compliment to what Kubrick accomplished here. But I don't know. I appreciate this film a lot, but I'm not sure how much I like it. Like, I don't know if fun is a word that comes to mind with this film. Um, it's sort of, I don't know, it's an experience. It almost doesn't even feel like watching a movie. Like, watching a movie is a different thing from watching 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I'm not sure if I like it. Like, throughout watching this film, I'd be like just engrossed, blowing loads over how good this film is for one scene, and then in the next, I'm like, I don't think that this is the pinnacle of human art. Um, Not that I think human art can have a pinnacle. Just because this has existentialist themes doesn't mean it's any better than, like, I don't know, some dumb popcorn movie. They're equally valid. Um, I had a point, and then I lost it. So, I feel like I don't know, I have a lot of feelings about this film. I kind of feel like the best way for me to describe the experience that I just had watching this was something akin to, like, an elementary school boy on the playground who sees a pretty girl or pretty boy, you know, had both those experiences. But, like, who sees another kid on the playground who he thinks he's attracted to, but he doesn't understand why or what it means, and he doesn't like the way it makes him feel because it's just a vulnerability that he didn't sign up for, and so he, like, rejects it, and sort of actively dislikes the film because of it. That's sort of like what 2001: A Space Odyssey is for me. Like, there's something that draws me to it, and also I just feel compelled to push it away at the same time. There is no way for me to talk about this without sounding pretentious and film nerdy. Oh man. So, obviously, Kubrick is a master of the craft. We all know this. You don't need me to say it. Like, 2001: A Space Odyssey, you can find a better analysis anywhere you look. Like, I'm not here to analyze what I think the film is about or say, yeah, Kubrick, he really knows how to compose a good shot because fucking obviously it's Kubrick. Um All I know is I don't think I'm gonna actually watch it again this weekend. Because, obviously my plan was watch it sober, watch it high, compare and contrast how I feel. Because I got to thinking, like, is this just my favorite film because I enjoy getting high and watching the last chapter, Jupiter and Beyond the Infinite, synchronized to Pink Floyd? I think the song is Echoes. I just listened to it, and I still can't remember. But yeah, like, is it my favorite film if cannabis is not present? Um, if if this experience and my other experience watching the film sober is gonna be the definitive answer, then no. Um, I don't think I can really call this my favorite film. Like, it's not fun to watch. It makes me feel kind of anxious. Like I just don't dig a lot of this audio to this film. It feels like space is given this really weird, tense, anxiety producing sound that I just don't vibe with. I don't need space to be like that. Like, that's not what I think space sounds like. And it just feels like the wrong way to build intensity, if you ask me. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't like about this film. I'm aware that I'm coming at this with like no structure. If I was a good like film critic, I'd compose a list of some things that I like, some things that I didn't like, then finish it off, with more positives, get that compliment sandwich going. Um, but like if you're looking for that, go watch like Chris Stuckman or something. Over here on Screen Time, we don't do structure very well. Oh man. I can only imagine what it must have been like to have seen this film in theaters for the first time, No no hype surrounding it. I mean, I'm sure Kubrick already, he had a name for himself at that point. I would imagine. I'm not very well versed in Kubrick's overall career. I've seen four Kubrick films, 2001 being the earliest. But I'm sure he had made a name for himself at that point. But like going into 2001: A Space Odyssey without the hype, without it being like the stoner Citizen Kane. Like, can you imagine just living your life in the 60s and thinking, I'm gonna I'm gonna go to the movies tonight. You take like a date with you or something just to kill a couple hours and whatnot. You're like, yeah, we'll go to the movies and we'll go bang one out in the car or something. Smoke a little jazz cabbage before you go in, and then you watch fucking 2001: A Space Odyssey. And then the film ends and the lights come on in the theater, and like some stranger that you're taking on your first date just looks at you like, what the fuck did we just experience? I imagine that must have happened somewhere. Uh, oh man.
my thoughts are really incohesive. I should have gathered my thoughts and recorded in the morning, but I thought, you know what? I just finished it. It's fresh in my brain. So I'm just gonna record tonight. It's currently 2:17 a.m. Um yeah, man, I don't know. I feel like I feel like I'm a little too hard on the film. I definitely understand why people could say that this is the best film of all time. Totally, totally get it. Would not doubt you for a second. It's like tells the story of humankind, and it's like a meditation on consciousness and God and the progression of technology and space, and I get it. Uh, I don't I don't think I don't think Kubrick gets it, but like I understand. I read, I think it was a portion of the interview where he's like, yeah, 2001 is about humanity's search for God, and like that that's awesome. I get that this is shooting for the fucking moon in terms of thematic importance. Thematic importance. I'm not entirely sure what I'm saying. I don't sound sober right now, but rest assured that I am. Um, yeah, I don't know. I have no desire to watch this high because the first two-thirds of the movie, I was just too anxious. I don't know why. It's not like, I don't know, it's not like it was too deep, maybe? I don't know. Like, it's not like I never think about stuff beyond, immediate worldly pursuits or whatever. It's not like that. It's just there's a vibe to this film that is a little too tense for my liking, and I don't understand why it's there, and I don't like it. Um, but there is a lot of stuff that I like in the film. There are a lot of absolutely beautiful shots. I like the sense of stoicism and the visuals. There are so many shots in here that I could use as a screensaver for my laptop. I know I said that about Midnight Gospel when I talked about that. I feel like between these two solo episodes of the podcast, I'm kind of slowly ruining my stoner cred. Like, yeah, I've watched Midnight Gospel, but I only got past the first episode and I had really mixed feelings on that. That kind of veered negative more than positive. And, oh, yeah, I talk a big game about loving 2001 A Space Odyssey, but really what I like is the final chapter synchronized to a Pink Floyd song. But, I mean, rest assured, I do like movies and TV that are meant for, like, a stoner vibe. It just so happens that the first two that I've talked about, I've had very mixed feelings on. And I didn't expect to not like the film as much. Like, I don't know. For a while, 2001 A Space Odyssey was like the banner that I'd put above my head as like a film enthusiast and just like if I had one piece of art to show someone who didn't know me, I'd be like, bam, 2001 A Space Odyssey. But that was looking at it like a year after I watched it through rose colored glasses. And yeah, I don't know. I feel kind of lost now because I don't feel confident calling 2001 A Space Odyssey my favorite film. But, I mean, 2001 replaced The Breakfast Club. And I also don't feel comfortable saying that The Breakfast Club is my favorite film. And that kind of, I don't know, I feel like I'm a film enthusiast without a favorite film right now. I had a favorite film and I took it away from myself because I watched it. Oh man, this is an interesting one. Like, man, I don't know. I just feel like the film enthusiast in me is taking an L tonight. Because I always thought that I really liked the film, but I think maybe I wanted to like it more than I actually like it. Because I want to be associated with someone who likes art with existentialist themes. I think that's it right there. Like, if I could pinpoint the obsession, not, well, yeah. If I could pinpoint why I tried to associate myself as being someone who was into 2001 A Space Odyssey, it'd probably be for some possibly narcissistic reasons about like wanting to be someone who's perceived as a deep thinker who likes complex abstract art, which I do, but I guess this isn't the example of it that I thought. Like, I feel like I kind of created a highlight reel of 2001 in my head after I watched it for the first time, and then, watched the Pink Floyd synchronization. And to be fair, that synchronization fucking slaps, alright? I might watch that stoned tomorrow or the next day and come back to you again, but maybe not. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I didn't expect to be turned off of the film, but I kinda am. This was not the direction I thought this episode would go in. I'm kinda perplexed on that this one. Like, I keep thinking, oh, I should, if I sit on the film a little longer, I'll have an idea of some profound realization that will reconnect me to the film. Like, I like the aesthetic. Obviously, Kubrick's a great filmmaker. I like space. I like complex thematic things, but this film made me like them less. Damn. Maybe I don't like 2001 A Space Odyssey. I don't know. I'm very confused right now. Very, very confused. Like, I always understood that a lot of people didn't like the film because it was boring. But I feel like I don't like the film because
I don't know why. I think I might not like this film, but I like it at the same time. I don't know. I feel like I watched the film once, romanticized it, and romanticized the fact that I was someone who felt like I kind of got 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then I just had to go back to the well once too often, and I feel like I sort of like pulled back the curtain on Oz. And now I'm like, oh, maybe this isn't like human consciousness personified into art. It's just a movie with some dope visuals, you know? It has a psychedelic vibe to it that I like, but it also has a very anxious, uncomfortable vibe that I don't like and resent it for exposing me to when I wasn't anticipating it. And yeah, maybe I like the idea of 2001: A Space Odyssey more than the film itself. Fuck. I feel like if I try to go further into explaining it, I'm just gonna talk in circles more than I already have. So, I don't know. I guess that's it. Hopefully, the first annual 420 special didn't quite go the way that I was thinking it would, but you know, sometimes you gotta change up the plan. Maybe next year I'll do Cowboy Bebop knocking on heaven's door, because that won't disappoint me. Fuck, maybe that's my favorite film. I don't know. Alright, well, um, that is it for me tonight. It is 2:29 a.m. I am going to watch something stupid as I fall asleep. Uh, maybe future episodes, you know. My friend and I are thinking about maybe doing One Piece next. Maybe Avatar: The Last Airbender. Which, for the record, is my favorite show. Um, yeah, I I guess that's it. 2001: A Space Odyssey. I watched it. Auf Wiedersehen.